I've worked as an employment lawyer for almost 30 years, generally at large practices and generally acting for large employers. I think it's a wonderfully interesting area of the law. It melds together what really requires some technical expertise. It's constantly changing. I personally think it's really important as a lawyer and a professional that we give something back to our community and to our profession. And I think participating in things that the Law Society offer, the accredited specialist program, policy committees and so on, is a really valuable thing to do. And so to the extent that you haven't done that yet, then my advice would be throw yourself into it and become involved. Well, I became an accredited specialist a number of years ago. I suppose I was at that point in my career, I was about 10 years in, and I really wanted to test myself to see whether I knew everything I needed to know in my particular area, whether there were gaps in my knowledge, and what areas effectively I needed to fill in. So I undertook the program and it was one of the best decisions I've made. Well, by completing the program, I suppose it confirmed some of the things I already knew, which was I had a great level of detail and knowledge in some areas, but there were some gaps in the knowledge too. And so it gave me an opportunity, really, an excuse, I suppose, to fill those gaps in, to study some more of the areas that I didn't do a lot in practice, and ultimately to go through and be successful. It confirmed to me that I was at the level of an accredited specialist. So it was a really rewarding experience from that perspective. One of the major benefits of being an accredited specialist is that I've been able to join a community of people who are experts in my area. I've been able to meet them in circumstances where I may not in ordinary practice, to share some ideas and knowledge, and I suppose start to set the tone for what we think makes an accredited specialist in our area of expertise. So I think that's one of the major benefits. Obviously that means that I then have a community of people I can discuss issues with on a no-names basis, and also potentially refer matters to as well. So I think that's really been useful for my career as I've gone forward. I think the best advice I could give someone who's thinking about undertaking accreditation is just do it. So it can be difficult while you're in a busy practice and a busy part of your career to think about doing some other form of study or exam. But what I would say is it's a wonderful opportunity partway through your career for many people to check whether in fact you are on course, whether you know as much about your particular areas you think you do, and gives you an opportunity to fill in some gaps which inevitably we all have in our particular area of expertise. It takes up a little bit of time. It certainly puts you in situations where you might be undertaking a peer interview or doing a simulated client interview or an exam or something else. And so it can put you in a certain level of discomfort. But I would say, do the process, go through the studying, and then the ability to be able to hold yourself out as an accredited specialist there as part of the profession. It's really quite rewarding and something I feel really proud about.